Austin Forkner, Detroit, obviously a massive day for you. First of all, massive because it's your big comeback. Second of all, massive because you got your first win in a long time. I can't imagine how good this feels.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the win feels great, but what feels almost as good is going from being down in the first turn, blowing out an E last year, to hole shotting the heat and the main this year. Like that was a huge, I guess, weight off my chest. I mean, you know, I've been a good starter in my past, but I feel like over the past year or two, I've kind of struggled with that. And on Supercross, I mean, like, you know, the start's super important. So whenever all my success in 2019 and 2020 came because I was consistently a good starter. So if I can be, you know, back putting myself up front, I mean, you just saw what happened tonight. You know, there was like 3 of us that went into the first turn first, and everybody behind that was a huge pileup. So it's just that's what happens whenever you don't get a good start, is you take risks like that going into the first turn. And last year it got me, and this year I led start to finish. So yeah, it's awesome.
You say that you feel like your starts have kind of gone away over the last 2 years. Do you feel like that's directly linked to confidence? Because confidence is a massive part of starts.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, yes, I think that confidence is obviously a huge part of starts, but we honestly, I wasn't a big fan of the motor that we had last year. It was really fast, but almost too aggressive for the greats, because those greats are super aggressive. So I feel like I just kept popping with it, and it was hard to get the bike to drive straight off the grate. It was just wanting to come up, it was wanting to wheelie. And if you have to come out of the gate and double clutch, I mean, you're done right there off these grates. So we made a good solid motor change this year, and that has helped tremendously for our starts. And then just me working them. Confidence. You know, Rhino and my mechanic Tony, they just constantly remind me before the gate drops, before I go down to the line, before whatever, that I can do this. I can get the whole shot. I can win races. I am still that guy that I once was. And that kind of, that's, I guess. So I guess that has made me more confident, and obviously confidence helps starts.
When you came around on the first lap and saw your teammates still down in the first turn, did you have kind of like an oh shit moment? Because that was you 1 year ago, and it could have been you tonight if luck had fallen differently. So was there like one straight where you were just like, okay, fuck, I dodged a bullet again here?
Yeah, it was deja vu, but me on the good side this time, basically. Like, you know, you never want to. I heard it before I heard the bikes clanking whenever I went into the first turn. So I knew there was a pileup, but I didn't know it was. I saw videos after, and I was like, dude, it was pretty gnarly. There was a lot of guys down. So, I mean, it sucks. I like, especially that, you know, my teammates were in it. But honestly, one of my bigger concerns was if they were going to red flag the race. That was honestly my main concern when I came around, and there were still 3 bikes laying in the track. I was like, oh no.
Yeah, there wasn't much room for you to get through.
I went around. I should have went inside of them, but I went outside and lost some time because of that. But I was like, oh man, I really, really hope that they don't red flag this race because of that. And then somebody else crashed, or there was a tough block in the track on like the 3rd or 4th lap in the next section. So it was all over the place, and I was hoping that they wouldn't red flag it, and they didn't. And that's because I knew that if I could get out front, that I could win, basically. Like that, I know the work that we've done this year, and I've been saying all, you know, the past few weeks, I just need a start. Give me a start, and I can work with that, which is what I haven't been able to do over the past few years. Even Budds Creek, you know, the second moto where I got 4th. I got a start, and I ran up there. Like, I know that I can still run up there with those guys. And, you know, Supercross tends to be my strong suit over outdoors. So I knew that if I can get a good start, I can finish podium or win.
Last thing, we talked yesterday about your different approach to training, the help that Rhino's given you. Watching you out front, there was no real push to build the biggest lead in history. It looks very much like you were taking your time and working with what you had and knowing that's enough. So did it feel different to when you've led races in the past?
I mean, just the fact that, like, I just was thinking of things that we've been working on, because that, I mean, Rhino's always told me that you can only focus on one thing at one. Your brain can only focus on one thing at one time. So instead of worrying about, oh man, we still have 12 minutes, looking up at the thing, there's still 12 minutes left in this race. I feel like we've been going, I feel like we should be halfway, you know, or oh man, I made a little mistake. He might be catching me, you know, whatever. Instead of thinking about that stuff, put that mental energy into thinking about technique and things that we've worked on at the practice track that have made a difference and that have made me feel smoother, faster, better when the whoops get chewed up, all those things. And I just took that into consideration, and I really never looked back. I just rode my race, rode my lines, and I honestly didn't really look at the pit board that much either, because it was around like that turn we were trying to. So I really didn't look that much. I just worried about myself, and that's what Rhino was stressing before the race. He was like, go out there, do what we've been doing, what we've been working at the practice track, and I know you can win. So.